What's up?
What up,
What's
dog?
up? Yo, we back, bro. Number 11 of Think Big Podcast. We have another episode of Deal or No Deal, where we're going over active deals, live deals that we've either completed or that we're working on to show you how we look at the numbers, how our thought process throughout the deal, all that good stuff. So sooner or later, we're going to have your guys coming up here, your deals coming up here to see if we're going to do deal or no deal for that too. But I got my brothers up here, my co-host, the three most handsome men on YouTube, Sam Singh, Alejandro Alvarez, and Mindset Marlon. What's up, fellas?
What up, bro? Dude, I've almost committed a cardinal sin right now, bro. I didn't share this yet on my social media platform. Like, I haven't shared this live right now. So before we even get started, I think all of us need to make sure that we are sharing this live so that we can get as many people in here, because tonight we're going to be doing a dope breakdown on a creative financing deal that I've been excited to share. I've been wanting to wait to share the details on this one until it was closed, but it's officially in the bag. So before we get started, I need everyone to go ahead and pull this little thing out of their pocket, open up Instagram, and make a post tagging me, tagging Daryl, tagging Sam, tagging Alejandro. All of our IGs are on the screen, and I'm going to do that right now as we get started. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to pass the mic back over to my brothers.
Let's do it. I'm excited to get started. This new year definitely has a great start. I feel like I just got a boost. Like a whole bunch of stuff was just piling up on the last quarter, and everything is just like too smooth now. It's like, something is about to happen. This is way too smooth. There's no way we're getting all these deals down the pipeline too easy. Something is about to happen. And guess what, guys? I'm excited when that time comes, because that's when I'm going to improve and my skill set's going to increase. So waiting for that hurdle.
Yo, that's actually something, bro. Like, that's a great point. That's something that I actually learned about this year. Learned about the terror barrier over the summer, where just to hear exactly what you were talking about. You know, when you're going through a bunch of stuff, like you said, last quarter was a bunch of stuff piling up. Now things are going easy, right? Because you learned that lesson that you were supposed to learn last quarter. You faced it like, let's go. What the hell am I supposed to learn? You learned it, and then things get easy. But that's not the last time things are going to get hard. Every time you grow, things get tough, right? So the smart people, they look forward to the tough situations, the hard situations, because that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to grow. So, hell yeah, I'm glad you talked about that, bro.
Yeah, the reality is, the reality is that every problem, it's just an answer that we don't have yet. And then once you have that, right, it's like life is just a series of like test questions, quiz questions. You get that answer, you're just never going to forget it. You're always going to know what it is. Next time that thing comes up, are you really going to worry too much? Hell no. Why? Because you've already solved it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So guys, like for me, one of the big things that we talked about on this podcast, right, was that eviction, that massive eviction. It was a foreclosure and an eviction and death threats and all this kind of stuff. I'm not afraid of evictions no more. Like, I'm okay with it. And if eviction comes up, cool. Does not do anything to me. But real quick, just because I spotted it, my brother Daryl, can you stand up for the folks? Like, I want them to see one of the greatest shirts ever.
And money's calling, bro. Yo, you have one choice when that phone rings, bro. You can pick up when the money's calling, or you can decline. You can hang up. I pick up every single time, dog.
So, you know, it's I'm really glad that you're wearing that, because I want to have, this is totally off topic, but it's important to say. We're all big on networking. We're all big on putting ourselves out there, right? Making a name for ourselves and getting around like-minded people. Daryl, you, me, Marlon, we were in Miami late last year for Kent Clothier's Scale and Escape event. You wore that shirt. Okay, you wore that shirt around a bunch of freaking 7, 8, 9-figure earners. They were all wearing suits and ties, and Daryl's walking around with the shirt that says "Money's calling," right? So funny thing is this: I actually connected with. I'm gonna introduce you to him. This great guy. Connected with an extremely high-level luxury Airbnb operator. Okay, really high-level human being. And I was telling him about you guys, right? And I was telling him, like, yeah, me and my boys, we were at the event. I think you might have met him. And he was like, was that guy with the phone ringing shirt?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. So guys, it's just by doing that small thing, right? Like he's able to stand out to very to a lot of different people. We look at some people that I've connected with a lot of times. Investor girl Brittany Arneson. Her thing is she'll go to networking events and wear sparkly pants. It's super unique. She looks like a disco ball walking around. She looks great, but it helps her stand out from everyone else, and no one will forget. That's the girl who's killing it in commercial self-storage, who also is sparkly. So total tangent, but I wanted people to see that, guys. When money's calling, you have one choice, and that choice better be to answer every freaking time. But guys, let's get into it. Daryl, we like doing this series, right? Deal or no deal. There's a lot of people who talk about theoretical underwriting for fake deals, fake hybrids, fake sub-twos, fake seller finances. I think that just learning from the real thing, nothing beats it. Nothing can beat it. So, what do we got today? Are we going over a fake deal? Are we going over a real deal? What's going on?
Nah, my boy Marlon got a crazy deal for us, bro. I'm excited to hear about this one. I've been waiting to hear about this one for some weeks now, bro. Marlon's been having me on the edge of my seat. So,
yeah,
what
man.
you got?
Yeah. So check it out. What we got is a pretty cool creative financing deal. So this deal came in on the last day of the year, right before we closed out 2022, which I'm super excited about because this one, by far, from my personal portfolio, this is going to be the largest single acquisition with a 7-figure acquisition done on creative financing. And the reason I'm so excited about it coming in before the year's end is because we've been hearing rumors that 2022 is going to be the last year to do bonus depreciation. So we were really wanting to sneak this one in for that final ability to do bonus depreciation against the income that was earned in the year of 2022, because it was we're blessed to say, and we're fortunate to say it was a good year. So without further ado, let's jump into this one, and let me give a little bit of context.
If you guys didn't catch that, Marlon just flexed on us and told us how much money he made last year.
No, I just said it was a good year. That's all I'm saying. All right. Yeah, you're looking at the kid that when I was coming up, man, I worked 3 jobs, lived in New York, and I managed to earn about a whopping $20,000 per year. Not per month, not per week, per year. Like I'm talking like there's minimum wage, and then there was like being Marlon broke. And I was like, I was down there, man. So we're doing better now. What's up, bro?
What's bonus depreciation?
Yeah, so bonus depreciation, essentially when you get a property, when we're looking at residential property, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's 27 and a half years worth of depreciation. So in other words, when I go and I purchase a property, let's just use a very basic number. For example, let's use $100,000 is what I go and purchase a property for. What I have the ability to do is I can take that purchase price and I can divide it by 27.5. And the number that it gives me lets me know I'm able to depreciate that amount against my income each year. So if I actually just did this real quick, if I did $100,000 divided by 27.5, it would tell me that I get to depreciate $3,636 each and every year. Just as my normal citizen, my normal resident real estate investor, that's the sort of benefit I get. It's depreciation. It's actually the coolest part of property. It's something called depreciation because you got to know this. Depreciation lets you get a tax benefit even if you're making money. Depreciation allows you to have positive cash flow and still get a tax benefit. Depreciation allows you to have appreciation of your property and still get a tax benefit. It's guaranteed no matter what the market's doing, no matter what's happening, if the market's going up, down, or sideways. So normally I would get $3,600 of depreciation annually. With bonus depreciation, what I'm able to do is I'm actually able to capture multiple years at once. So I could capture, let's say, 5 years at once and put it all into one tax year of depreciation. So instead of just taking $3,000 for a single year, I can multiply that by 5 and take $15,000 of depreciation in a single tax year. Now, I obviously can't just infinitely do this over and over and over. There's a health bar. Once my depreciation runs out, it runs out. But this is a way to then get more strategic about how much money you're earning and what you do. So sit with a CPA. You want to have a good CPA on your team. Don't think of them as an expense. If they are good, they will actually show you how to save more money than they cost. So that's a bonus depreciation.
So
They
I
will
want to
save
highlight
you
that,
more
you
money
know,
than they cost. That's a big one right there. People don't understand that. I was just talking to my partner about that today. Like, you got to run the math on how much you're actually worth, like per hour, per month. You know, because we always talk about like saving money. Like, sometimes it's costing you money to do those actions that require you to save money. So that's a big one.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's a whole topic by itself. That's a whole episode.
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
We
can go into. I mean, we can go into depreciation, right, and the benefits of, you know, there's multiple reasons to buy a property, right? It's not just to make a quick cash out. It's not just to have cash flow. There's several reasons to buy properties, right? And there's several different types of buyers. What Marlon's hinting at is, of course, we know about this property. We're gonna hear all about it in a minute. Depreciation wasn't the only reason that he bought this, but Marlon, are there buyers who are making so much money in their businesses, right? Maybe they're artists, maybe they're athletes, maybe they're doctors, lawyers, and they buy real estate just for depreciation?
The answer is abso-freaking-lutely. And I want to like point everyone's attention to, if we just stepped out of real estate alone, there are individuals who make a ton of money on the internet and they have very high margins, which means they make a lot of profit, have a little bit of expenses. So at the end of the year, when they finally sit down and talk to a CPA and the CPA is telling them like, hey, congratulations, you made 7 figures this year. Get ready to give away about 40% of that to Uncle Sam and get nothing in return. They're like, wait, what? But I did well. I did the right thing. I learned how to make money. Yeah, but you know, you're not really in an asset class. You're not in an industry that gives you and provides you with a lot of tax benefit. Now, how can we offset this? There's real estate that can be purchased. There's real estate that can be purchased as an investor. And this is the coolest thing. You can be a real estate investor and other things, and it will allow you to offset your other earned incomes. This is why there is no other industry like being a real estate investor. It's one of the best benefits, in my opinion, of being a real estate investor. Depreciation is the coolest part about investing, hands down. And like, it would be a hard time to convince me otherwise.
Yo, so they say most of the wealthiest people in the world are in real estate, whether they started in real estate or they took all their money and they bought real estate. This is the reason why. This is the exact reason why. One of the main reasons why. Depreciation.
Yep.
1000%. So I think let's jump into this deal. And what up, Raymond? What up? Yeah, we got some cool people in the chat. We got Leo, we got Jeanette, we got Liban. Like, everyone's in the chat hanging out. Tim just jumped in. So what's all going on, guys? We appreciate you for being here. Let's dive into it. So we got a deal, no deal. So I'm going to bring up a property here in a second, and let's just give a little context on this situation. This deal was actually brought to the table by another investor, by a wholesaler, somebody who was having a tough time. This actually person does fix and flips, and they are typically a cash buyer. So they wholesale and they buy cash, and they're having a tough time figuring out what to do with this property. They had a seller who happened to be in pre-foreclosure. So the home was in phenomenal condition. It's actually one of the best houses in the area, great condition. But the seller is going through some financial difficulties, and the purchase or the sale price that they needed to sell it for was just way too high for a cash offer. They still had a mortgage on the property of around $950,000, and they were about $50,000 in arrear, bringing this property up to about that $1 million price point. Cash would have dictated that the property be purchased close to about $600,000, $600,000 to $700,000 in this market. That would have been a cash offer. Now, there's obviously a main problem with that. If someone's going to come and purchase your property for $600,000 or $700,000, you as the seller, if you owe $950,000, you're going to have to come to the table with 6 figures just to sell your property to an investor. Obviously not happening. Also, they didn't want to put it on the market simply because they wanted to keep it private. As you can imagine, it's not something that you want to publicly share with the world, the situation on why you're selling. So they were trying to keep things quiet. So they were in quite of a conundrum. So this wholesaler brings the deal over to Ingrid Hernandez. Shout out to Ingrid Hernandez. So Ingrid gets a hold of the deal. She starts negotiating and talking with the seller. She's able to figure out terms. The only problem is the terms that gets figured out, we start to realize wouldn't cash flow as a traditional rental property. And does this ever happen to you guys? Like Sam, Alejandro, Daryl, do you guys ever get properties that when you're underwriting it, it doesn't actually pencil out for a long-term rental?
Like 80% of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost all the time. And this is why, guys, it's so critical to have not only one arrow in your quiver, right? To have multiple tools in that tool belt, to have multiple, what we're talking about, long-term rental is what's known as an exit strategy, right? Once you've acquired the deal, what are you going to do with that deal once you've gotten it, right? You long-term rent it, you put a person there for 12 months, 6 months to 12 months. I kind of know what you guys are doing with it. I've heard a lot, through the grapevine, you guys doing some really innovative things, but it sounds like you guys long-term just wouldn't work. But because you're freaking mindset Marlon, because you're Marlon freaking Johnson, and because you're Ingrid and Marlon together, you guys actually have some other exit strategies that can come about. So I'm excited to hear that, man. Let's get into it.
Yep. So absolutely right. So guys, if you're listening right now, I promise you it's going to pay off to be here today for this episode, because what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to melt your mind a little bit with new creative ways of thinking on how to utilize property and take things that would not previously work for cash, would not previously work for a traditional rental, and cash flow and make good money on it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen on this one. So let me figure out how to do that. You young kids always out here sharing screens. Here we go. I got my screen sharing capabilities going up. Chrome tab. Let's go, baby. So let me do this. All right. So for this one, unfortunately, I had to block out the address on this one. If you guys are interested in learning the address, just go be a part of Daryl's community. Go join Daryl's Discord. And inside there, we'll deep dive and I'll break down even more details that I just can't publicly, but in a private setting, I got no problem doing that. But let's look at this deal breakdown. So you guys already know we got the handy dandy deal breakdown sheet, the entry fee calculator for figuring out if a deal is going to make sense. You can all see this right now, right? Give me you guys give me a thumbs up, or just tell me, because I can't see your faces.
This is great. We can see everything.
All right. Perfect. So when we're looking at the entry fee on this deal, when we decided we're going to do it creatively, we told the seller very simply, like, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, what we'll do is we will actually purchase the property from you. We will pay, full ask for the property, essentially. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take over the existing mortgage on the home. So there was an existing mortgage of about $950,000 with about $50,000 in arrears at a 2.75% interest rate, which I thought was phenomenal. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, that interest rate's amazing. And on top of that, we will pay you some equity so you have cash in hand in order to move on to the next chapter of your life. Right. So always keep in mind, we are doing this business to help people. We get paid to solve problems. If you don't remember that, if you don't understand the reason you work as an investor, the reason you bring value is because you are helping other people, then please stop doing this business. If you think this is all about making a buck for yourself, please stop doing this business. Please get out of the industry and go ruin someone else's industry. But in this industry, we are here to help people. I'm firm on that. Firm on it. So with that being the case, with this particular seller, we told her what we would do is we would provide them with cash so that they can move on to the next stage. So what that looks like is giving them $25,000. So not only are we going to catch up their arrears, we're going to bring them $25,000 in hand so that they can move on to the next chapter. And let's calculate what my entry fee looked like here. So we have $25,000 cash to seller. Now, the arrears, like I said, and if someone doesn't know what arrears are what we refer to when a property is in some sort of pre-foreclosure or in some sort of the payments are delinquent. Those delinquent payments, those past due payments, we call those arrears. So in this case, the mortgage was past due, and those payments that were due to catch the mortgage up and bring it current, Those are called arrears. So there are approximately $50,000 in arrears. Now, when we actually closed, this number went up to $55,000 because we went an additional month. So it went up to approximately $55,000. The cost of acquisition, that wholesaler who could not get the property under contract, who could not convert it, who was going to essentially toss this lead into the garbage, that wholesaler was paid $5,000. So that wholesaler earned money for passing on a phone number. So I know it's not a Sam Singh like assignment. Like Sam pays people $10,000, sometimes $15,000 for passing on phone numbers.
Don't be telling that to the public, all right? Don't be telling that to the public.
I've been pushing phone numbers at Sam for a long time. He's been blocking me. So like maybe he won't block you guys, but like Sam pays big bucks. In fact, I'm shutting down my whole wholesale operation just so I could push numbers at Sam.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same.
So this cost of
each time, 15,000 each time. You give me the area code with it, boom, 20K right there, guys.
So this cost of acquisition, we're paying that wholesaler $5,000. Well, that guy was already paid. The closing cost. So we self-performed on this. Self-performing. Let's quickly explain why we had to do that and what that is. This particular mortgage that we were taking over was a VA loan. So a VA is a veteran's loan for people that are active or past military. They have the ability to go in and get loans for sometimes $0 down. They come in with a 0% down payment. So this is a really cool benefit for veterans to go and utilize to go and purchase properties. Sometimes this puts them in a position where if they have to sell a property immediately after purchasing, they have closing costs to cover as the seller in a traditional sale, putting them in a situation where they have to come to the table with money that they never had to put in to purchase a portion of that equity, leading them to really favor these sort of creative financing opportunities where we will come in, we'll take their closing cost on for them and things of that nature. Now, the challenge, most title companies will not insure a VA loan. They don't want to process those sort of subject to VA loans because there's some issues that they have to worry about. They have to cover their own butts. So they don't want to step into that water. So although it's possible to take over a VA loan subject to, you have to self-perform it. In other words, you just have to simply do the paperwork that the title company would be doing normally on your behalf. So for this, we used a transaction coordination company, and I highly recommend using a transaction coordination company. If you guys want that person, feel free to reach out to me later. I'm more than happy to pass their information along. I don't know if they are publicly taking on a lot of people, so I don't want to just throw their info out there, but we had to self-perform the VA loan. So if anyone tells you you can't take over a VA loan subject to, you absolutely can. We've done it several times. In fact, my very first deal was taking over a subject to VA loan.
Marlon, are there any other types of sub 2 deals or situations where you have to self-perform?
Yes. So FHA loans are another one where self-performance may be necessary. FHA loans are government-backed loans that are about 3% down, which is pretty common, 3 to 3.5% down. So a lot of first-time home buyers typically use these loans, and they are out there. So FHA loans are other loans that I know of that get self-performed. Between those two, I don't know if there are any others. I'm sure there might be, but I just know of FHA and the VA. You guys, Alejandro, Sam, you guys know of any other loans that need to be self-performed?
I'm sure they're
Not
out
that
there.
I'm aware.
I'm sure there are out there. Those are the two most prominent ones, and the reason why is they're funded by the federal government, right? The federal government prints money, it prints mortgages, and so there's tons of them out there. That's why they're the ones that we consistently run up against. That being said, I just closed a deal in Tampa, Florida, where we just sold it, we got paid and everything, and it wasn't a sub 2, it's technically a hybrid, which is half sub 2 on a VA loan. And one thing that I want to go back and highlight for anyone that missed it, this is critical. On a VA loan, right, with let's just say $0 down, or an FHA loan with 3% down, that's pennies basically, right, in the grand scheme of things, right? Let's just say Marlon is in the military, he goes and gets a VA loan, he wants to utilize that to its maximum benefit, he puts $0 down, goes and buys a house for nice even numbers, let's just say $100,000, okay? In a year, Marlon gets deployed. He's got to go and be a badass and, you know, lead a squad and go, you know, fight the good fight. He wants to get rid of this house in a year. The problem is, in a year, with just his mortgage payments, he doesn't have enough equity to go and sell it. And if he goes and tries to sell it, he has to pay the realtor 3, 4, 5, 6%. He's got to pay the title company or closing costs to get the transaction over the finish line. And then what ends up happening in a year, he doesn't have enough equity to be able to pay for that. So he bought it for $100,000. In a year later, man, he's going to have to probably come out of pocket, to do minimum 10, 15 grand to be able to sell that property, get it off his hands. So in that sense, people who are in this situation, selling on market traditionally with a realtor going the normal way, the conventional way of doing things, they will actually have to pull out their own checkbooks, write a check, and to sell their own home, which is wild to think of. And this is why creative financing is a fantastic solution for them. So Marlon, like, lead us in, man. How did it go from there?
Yep. So we got the closing costs taken care of. We had to budget, and I always budget for rehab / reno because there was no rehab or renovation needed on this property. It's a relatively new property. It had been recently updated, not even a year and a half ago. Beautiful home, but I'm glad we budgeted for this because the seller ended up having some really awesome furniture in the backyard, inside, couches, different things, gym equipment, all of that stuff that I was able to negotiate and purchase from her as well as a part of the property, as part of the purchase. So luckily it was already in my budget, right? Because if you see here, my rehab / reno includes things like furnishing. And then we have what we call a holding cost, a holding payment that we budget for. So in this particular case, check this out. This was pretty interesting. On this particular deal, what we agreed was, like I said, we closed on this deal on December 30th, so right before the new year. And the seller is actually still in the property until the 21st. So they're moving out on the 21st. And what we did was we allowed them to stay because, guys, let's be honest, it's the holidays. Who wants to move on New Year's? Who wants to move right after Christmas? Even in a normal situation, you don't want to move at that time of year. So giving her time to pack up, giving them time to get their stuff together to go get their next location, we allowed them to have what we call a seller post-possession. So they're able to possess the property, able to stay in the property even after the transaction has closed. And what we did to secure ourselves, because you still want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of and someone doesn't decide like, hey, I'm just not going to leave. We did a $10,000 holdback. In other words, the money, this $25,000 that's going to the seller, they got $15,000 and they get the other $10,000 after they leave the property and hand off the keys. This way, everyone is on board for making sure that we follow through and finish the process, because time has a way of changing things. So you want to make sure that you cover your assets. So we have the holding costs there to still take care of January and February's monthly payment without the property needing to be rented out and without us worrying and being in the red. So this brings everything up. And then marketing of the house, I use my own personal network to market this house. So we put marketing at 0 because it was all organic marketing. This brought our total entry fee up to $100,000. So now if we're looking at $1 million purchase and we're looking at $100,000 entry fee, where is that? That's a 10% entry fee. Where can we go today in this market and enter into $1 million property for 10% down and get a 2.75% interest rate? I don't know where we can get that. I have no stinking clue. So this is the first part. So now I know, okay, in order to get into this deal, it's going to cost me $100,000. Now, some of you are like, dude, that is a lot of money. Hell, I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's a lot of money. Well, what are we going to do? I'm not coming up with that money. I'm going to go and raise private capital. So we reached out into our network and we were able to raise private capital at 8%. So we got a private lender to come in and to bring in that money of $100,000 at 8% interest. And here's the cool part, because this is such an awesome deal and this is such an awesome lender. We've actually given that lender not just 8%, but also on top of that, we gave them equity in the deal. So they are also an owner with us. So not only are they getting a return on their $100,000, so they're earning $666 per month, they're also an equity partner in the deal, which means they're going to get a portion of cash flow. They will get the ability to depreciate, and they're also going to be a part of all the cool things that we got to do with this house. And I'm going to explain that now in just a second. So let's scroll down a little bit. So let's now figure out the most important question, because some people are looking at like, all right, cool, your entry fee is $100,000, Marlon. I would never do that deal. Some of you are thinking, Marlon, I would do that deal. And some of you, let's just be honest, you got no freaking clue if you would do the deal or not, because the entry fee alone doesn't tell you if this is a good deal or not. What do we need to know? Like, Daryl, what do I need to know if I'm going to figure out if this is a good deal or not?
How much money's going in? When's it going in? How much money comes it out? When's it coming out? How sure am I that this is gonna work, baby?
There it is.
Cash return.
So that's what it is. We want to understand how much money is going in, but more importantly, how much money is coming out. What is going to be my cash flow? First off, does the property cash flow? So let's take a look at what this property has the ability to do. So from a monthly rental income, this property, based off of what we're going to be doing with it, has the potential to produce $9,000 per month. $9,000 per month. You might be wondering, how the heck are you guys going to produce $9,000 per month? I'll tell you in just a little bit. So stay tuned, like stick through it, right? But let's get through the numbers. But I'm going to explain to you how we're going to be making $9,000 per month with this. But just follow me for now.
Are you doing legal things in there to get that $9,000 a month, or illegal things in there?
Bro, it's called the Growth House for a reason, man. Like, come on, you know Arizona's chill with this kind of stuff, right? No, it's 100% legal. Everything we're doing, guys, that's rule number one. Actually, rule number one is make money in the buy. I think it's rule number 4 is always stay legal. We always got to stay legal. Always follow the rules. There's way too much legal money to make. So we've got $9,000 of potential rental income coming in. Now let's figure out what it's going to cost us. So what are our expenses? Well, we've got our monthly payment to the, actually this, let me get rid of this. So originally when we were negotiating this deal, we were going to pay the seller over market price. But after having more conversations with her, we agreed that just paying market price in this market is already such a great deal. So the additional equity that we were going to give got canceled out at the day of close or the day before close. And this was in full transparency with the seller. We just came back and just explained like, hey, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're seeing. We think we're overpaying. We're cool overpaying, but not overpaying. So we got that wiped down to zero. So let's go ahead and update that right now. So monthly expenses, this 666 is going to our private money lender each month. The monthly mortgage that we're taking over, PITI, principal, insurance, taxes, and interest, is $4,610. So $4,600 every single month going towards this mortgage payment of around $950,000 of principal on that mortgage. Now, let's talk about something for a second. We've got a 2.75% interest rate on the mortgage. Does anyone know, like, Sam, can you tell me why I love having a 2.75% interest rate? Like, what's so special about that particular number?
I mean, there's a lot special about that number. I mean, let me ask you this, 2.75 for how many years?
For 30 years.
And it's fixed rate.
Fixed rate. Could I show them something?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna show that. I'm gonna share a different screen now. So you guys are gonna see one of my second favorite websites. I guess I nerd out a little.
We just shout out Marlon for being the most polite guy. It's his day, and he's asking to share. He's the nicest guy ever.
So let's look at this. Some people have no idea what they're looking at here. This is what we call a mortgage calculator or an amortization calculator. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make up some numbers here just because I don't want to take up too much time trying to figure out the exact numbers for you all. But let's say we've got the mortgage of $950,000. I made it a 0% down payment just so we can have the full 950. Now we got a 30-year term, but this number right here, this is important to pay attention to. So right now it's telling me average mortgages are around 6.41% right now in this current market. Let's go look at what that means from a principal and interest payment. Anyone that has a mortgage understands that in the beginning of your mortgage term, you're paying more interest than you are paying principal. In other words, when you have that monthly mortgage payment, so in this case, it would show me that my monthly mortgage payment is going to be, where's my monthly mortgage payment at? It's going to show me that my monthly mortgage payment is going to be approximately, where's that number?
It's going to be on the other page.
It's on the other page, right? Payment breakdown, $6,600, right? So it's showing me of the $6,600 that I'm paying, look at this. $5,000 of it is going towards interest. $873 is going towards my principal. That's at a 6.41 interest rate. Now, look what happens when I change this to a 2.75. All right, let's go look at the first payment. Before we were paying $5,000 on day one, $5,000 was going to interest, $800 was going to principal. Let's see what, because of a 2.75 interest rate, same purchase price, same loan, different interest rate. Let's go see how much money is going towards principal and how much is going towards interest. Now, $2,000 is going towards interest. $1,700 is going towards principal. Almost 50-50 split right away. In other words, every time we make a monthly payment, so let me go back now and let's go look at what our monthly payment was. Come on, y'all. Like, I get excited about this.
Bro, I just learned something new. What the heck?
Every time, yo, check this out. So every time we make this monthly payment of $4,600, you have to imagine approximately $2,000, like $1,700 to $2,000 is going towards principal. In other words, our net worth is increasing every single month by $2,000 alone. And that's not even positive cash flow coming into our pocket. So, and by the way, that's not even calculated into what my ROI is going to be on this deal. But I just want people to understand the power of creative financing and the power of understanding interest and amortization schedules.
Bro, why is that 2.7? Like, why is that 0.25 such a difference?
Dude, so funny enough, I learned this from my buddy he did car sales. He was a car salesman, and he actually told me, he said, listen, in cars, if you can ever purchase a car at like a 2% interest rate, he says, get it. He said, because that interest rate is so magical, because immediately half of it's going right to principal. It doesn't matter what the purchase price is. Immediately half of it's going right to principal. So when I saw this,
a lot faster too.
Right. Now we got to imagine, like, in the realm of real estate, we've never seen numbers like this before. I can't go back in history and tell you another time where interest rates in the United States for home mortgages was at 2 point whatever percent, because it never happened before. So people don't even really know to look at that. People don't really know to even value that, except for y'all now, the 29 of us hanging out here who decided to come to the Think Big podcast on Tuesday night. Y'all now know. So this is why creative financing is going to be taking over in such a major way.
Yep.
So let's keep going here. So we've got the PITI of about 4,600. Now, guys, I'm conservative. If you're anything like me, you're a conservative investor. I'm conservative. I know I think conservatively. I was raised in a Dave Ramsey house by Caribbean parents who would like absolutely disown me if they found out like that I pay other people to do things nowadays. So I still have a bit of that in me. So I put away money for a war chest, for incidentals. So even though the property is in great condition, nothing needs to be done with it, I'm still every single month putting away. I'm taking $900 off the table and putting that away into another account. Almost $1,000 every single month. And just simply going away to the side. And like, that's our, what ifs, right? That's our, we want to buy a sauna for the house. That's the plumbing needs to be fixed. It's going to the side every month. Now we're adding one more, although the property has insurance on it, we're going to be adding an additional insurance policy on the property, which is going to cost us about $150 per month, bringing up our grand total of monthly expenses to $6,327.52 per month is what it's going to cost me to own this property. Now, we got $9,000 coming in every month. So where does that put us from a cash flow standpoint? This property will cash flow $2,672.48. So $2,600. Now, the cool part is if I was putting in the money all on my own, this would be a 32% return ROI on my money if I just took my own cash and put it into the property. Now, because I'm not putting my own cash into the property, my return is actually infinite.
It's what?
I get it. Infinite
Oh my
return.
God.
Because when you put $0 into something and you get something out, how many times can you do that deal before you run out of money? How many deals like that can you do before you have to say, I can't do any more deals like this? You can do an infinite amount of those, right? There is no stopping. There's no stopping us. I'm not leaving. We're watching a little bit of Wolf of Wall Street, y'all.
I think you just broke my brain, bro.
So this is the coolest thing to understand, that we can go in and make deals like this happen, and the cash flow on this property. I mean, we're able to produce $2,600. Now, let's talk about how are we producing a $9,000 per month income on this property? Like, where is that number coming from? Because it's not Airbnb, it's not VRBO,
No,
it's not midterm rentals,
no.
it's the Mindset Manor.
Oh,
Oh yeah, y'all don't even know.
oh man.
Hold up, bro.
Oh yeah,
Damn, bro.
oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
The Mindset Manor.
Oh man. Oh baby.
So what does that mean? How are we about to produce an income in excess? That's going to be 2 to 3 times the amount of a traditional rental in this area. This home is a beautiful 4,700 square foot, 6-bedroom, 4.5 bath, pool, hot tub, indoor gym, 4-car garage. Beautiful piece of property. Immaculate piece of property. And what it's going to be turned into, because we're creative, because we think out. See, I don't even want to say we think outside the box. We absolutely annihilate the box. The box doesn't even exist. In this world, the box doesn't even exist. So we simply created an opportunity for entrepreneurs to come together, 6 entrepreneurs to come together to live under one roof, to mastermind daily for an entire year, to live by a set of house rules that are predestined to grow them and their businesses and act as I want you to think about this as a entrepreneurial incubator, that you come in and you grow and develop and evolve, and then you're released back into the marketplace bigger, better, and stronger. And this is ultimately what the Mindset Manor is. And this is what the house is. And now some of you might be thinking, man, are people even going to want to sign up for this? Well, guess what? The house, right now, we have more applicants than we have spots in the house.
Oh, man.
Like, yo, Cody, I agree. It is freaking wild. And here's the coolest part, because we started to figure, like, man, like, because personally, this is like a childhood fantasy to me where I'm like, yo, I'm getting to like my life. I'm living my dreams. But let me see if this is me just being overly emotional or if this is actually a good idea. Started reaching out to other entrepreneurs and talking to them, guys that are earning 7, 8, 9 figures. In fact, Cody Barton, shout out to Cody Barton, spoke to him about this, and he actually said, holy crap, dude, I did something just like this. This is actually what helped me grow my business when I was first starting off in business. This is what helped me get to the point that I'm at right now. And I said, well, shoot.
Say less.
Say less. So the Mindset Manor is going to be live on February 1st. and it's going to be a pretty epic ride for the housemates that are coming in, for those that are chosen. And guys, right now, I got to be honest. Like I said, there are more applicants than there are spots inside the house. However, if you're still interested, go onto my Instagram, go and DM me on Instagram, or go into Daryl's Discord. One of the two. If you're already in Daryl's Discord community, go inside there and message me. I'm inside Daryl's Discord community. I was one of the first people to get inside there once I found out what he was making. Go inside there and message me that you're interested in the house, or simply go to my Instagram and DM me the word growth. If you DM me the word growth or grow, make it easy for you. 4 letters, grow, GROW. DM me the word grow, and I will send you the application as well. This way, even if you don't make it into this house, you may have the opportunity to make it into a future home. So the house is going to not only, check this out, not only just give them a place to live, it's going to be set up where there's going to be weekly accountability for the housemates to come in and present their KPIs. Because I am sick and tired of seeing people wish for something, but not put it into their life, not put it onto their schedule, not put it onto their calendar. See, I learned from a mentor of mine that if you want to get something done, quit putting it on your to-do list, start putting it on your calendar. We could all put it on our to-do list. Get it off your to-do list, put it on your calendar. Yeah. So each week we're going to be coming together and doing that. Each month there's going to be a deeper accountability deep dive where we're doing hot seats and we're combing through your business and personal finances, because most of us hide our numbers. And look, the reason I'm doing this is because I was one of those people. I hid my numbers. I allowed myself to get into, I went from never having any debt in my life to gaining consumer credit debt for the first time ever in my life, and then being embarrassed about it, not wanting to share it with other people. And when I finally did decide to share it, guess what? My problem was able to get settled very quickly. And I realized I was hiding my problem, not fixing it. So we're going to be allowing people not to hide some of their most intimate problems. And then quarterly, check this out. This is the coolest part. We're going to be doing master classes and mastermind events throughout the weekend, which the housemates will have full access to free of charge. And we'll be opening those events up to a handful of outsiders, which I'm super excited for, because we'll be bringing in, you guys already know, we'll be bringing in guys like Sam, guys like Alejandro, asking them to open up their business, share what's going on, really show you how to scale your operation, how to actually do this business day to day. And it's going to be a great time. So I'm excited for the Mindset Manor. And ultimately, I want to make sure that it gives more value to every single housemate that's in there, that it's undeniable that when they go back into the marketplace and people say, why are you crushing it? Because I came from the Mindset Manor.
Hey, bro, you got some me in there, bro?
What's up, bro?
You got some room for me in there, bro?
Bro, you already know. Yo, I guess I should let people know. Yo, if you ever wanted to live with a certified closer, a certified dog, Daryl Ellison is actually one of the first housemates that's going to be in the house. And I can tell y'all all from like having a sneak peek on the back end of his system and the back end of his business on what he's doing. He is somebody you absolutely want to be around. Like, don't even think about like anything else. Like, if you need to get better at sales, if you need to get better at closing, you need to be around Daryl's energy, period. So I'm hyped. So this is a deal breakdown. So let me ask, based off of everything I just explained, I want to know between Alejandro, Sam, and Daryl, would you guys buy this deal?
That's a no-brainer for me. Absolutely.
Without a freaking shadow of a doubt.
I'm excited to go visit.
It actually has nothing to do with the money. It has nothing to do with the money. Like the reality is, the exit strategy that you have essentially invented, right, is one that goes beyond the capital, because what you're going to do is create businesses, create business partners, create collaborators. I mean, shit, getting these people to, potentially chip in on, the mortgage and help pay the bills, all that, like that's going to be a tiny fraction of the total income that comes through that household as a collective. with everyone's businesses thriving, with you guys collaborating, with you guys throwing events. I mean, this is dangerous. And I want to speak on something real quick if I can. This is why I think we're such big advocates of masterminds. We're such big advocates of getting mentors. I think that in life, if you have one mentor, that's not enough. It's important to have multiple mentors in life. Critically important. It's something that I learned from Chris Crone. He's got, I think, well over 25 to 30 mentors in life. In any field that he wants to excel in, he goes and finds a mentor who has absolutely crushed that specific thing. And the power of a true mentorship, the power of a mastermind, like a campfire, right? And especially a campfire that burns really hot as this. There's a lot of you here who are a little bit newer, starting your entrepreneurial journeys, your investor journeys, and you just don't know what you don't know yet. You really don't. You don't know what you don't know. And everything may seem a little bit overwhelming. But if you go into a hot seat situation, which sounds scary, it's not. It's one of the best things you can ever do for your business. You go into a hot seat situation with people who are ahead of you, maybe only by a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, people who can mentor you. They will take one look at your business, probably take about a minute and a half or less, and they will connect this dot, this dot, this dot, this dot, and they will allow you to skip years off your learning curve. That is the power of masterminding. That is the power of mentorship, especially with the right people. You can skip years, guys, years and tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of wasted money trying to gain experience through, the school of hard knocks, just by getting advice, getting wisdom from someone who has years and years of it. And then you compound that by putting 10 of them in a house together every single freaking day. That is exponential growth. So, dude, Marlon, I got to say this, man. It's a beautiful thing to see. It is innovative. It is different. It is unique. It requires someone as, beautifully crazy as you are to come up with something like that. And I can't wait to see what happens out of it, dude. It's going to be amazing. My only ask is that one room, one couch is left open for me so I can just visit every now and then. That's all I ask.
Bro,
always. You can be the little spoon, bro. I'll share my bed.
Game.
Yo, I'm super excited, bro, because Marlon, we were talking about this when we were running our Whiskey Road Marathon. And me, you, and Andrew Linder, shout out to Coach Drew.
Drew,
the GOAT. We were up in Prescott. We were in a house together for a week, and what we were doing every day, we were on a set schedule. We'd wake up, we'd run, we'd come back, we'd work our asses off, close some deals, do whatever we had to do, and just the energy in that house for that week was just different. It was just different. And I remember Marlon, we were just talking about like, yo, we need to recreate this. We need to recreate this because that the frequency that like I literally felt it just coming out of my skin. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt that energy just all day. It's like when you're around somebody, when you're in that proximity of people who are just getting things done, right? Or just making it happen every single day, you're almost gonna feel bad if you're wasting time, if you're laying down, if you're scrolling on Instagram, right? You see your brothers, you see your sisters, people who are living with you getting after it every single day. You're going to have no choice, or you're going to get weeded out. It's one or the other. You either step up to the plate or you run away. And you get replaced. Like,
you know how true that is? Because here's a prime example. Yesterday, I spoke to all three of my brothers here on the screen that keep me accountable. Because every morning, every night, I text Alejandro and I let him know whether or not I executed on my day's task or if I didn't. And the days, like there have been days, I'll be 100% honest with y'all. Like I don't feel proud saying this, but there have been a few days where I had to say to Alejandro, I did not execute. I did not accomplish. I did not get the thing done. Mm-hmm. And I feel some type of way, enough so that the next day I wake up and I get my butt back in gear. I get back in shape. Daryl, yesterday, I had to call Daryl before my run. I had a 10-mile run yesterday that I did not want to do. And a part of me secretly was hoping Daryl would give me a way out of it. A part of me was secretly hoping Daryl was going to say, bro, I'm sitting on the couch too, and I ain't running today either. And Daryl said, bro, I'm putting my shoes on right now. Like, damn it. Yeah, me too, man. Me
Yeah.
too. Got that 10-mile run. Then I got home and I was on the phone with Sam, and Sam poured into me for an hour and a half. Actually like an hour and 40 minutes. Every minute counts with Sam. Every moment counts. Poured into me, and I was just taking notes as fast as my hand could write before cramping up. And he gave me guidance on some of my most important things that I took care of today came from last night's conversation. The power of that proximity, the power of connecting with the right people. That's what I'm looking forward to with this house most of all. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm excited for even just what's happening right here, not just on the screen, but in the chat. Like when I see Jordan and Jeanette and Cody and Liban and everybody commenting and connecting, I want you guys to understand that you guys are also doing this for each other right now. I've met all of these guys in chats. I met these guys in Zoom chats first. I didn't meet a single one of them in person before I had met them first in a chat on YouTube or in Zoom. So I freaking love it.
Can I want to make an announcement, man, just because it's I think it's an important one, and it goes to show how, like, to your point, it starts with chats, it starts with getting to know each other, it starts with things like Daryl's Discord, right? Connecting with people on YouTube, in chats, in Zooms, on Discords. Marlon, you and I literally met because of a Zoom where I came up and I spoke a lot, and then you texted me, and then we just got to know each other. We hit it off, and I think our first call was like a 2-hour call. We absolutely hit it off. Now we've spent a lot of time together, and probably not enough time. And it's really cool how everything evolves, right? And this hasn't been, dude, I haven't even been in this industry for a year and a half yet. And like now we're podcasting together. Now you and Daryl are going to freaking live together and help create the next wave of great entrepreneurs this industry has ever seen. And then to see how that even further progresses, Marlon, you and I are going to be speaking on the same stage together next month in Phoenix. We're actually going to be sharing a stage as a few keynote speakers. So that all started just by connecting in chats, guys. Like, think about how all of this progresses. It is beautiful to see. And if you aren't, just come here, support us for sure. Show love to Daryl because he's got the whitest teeth on earth, right? Support Batman and Bruce Wayne over there because he just looks so goddamn beautiful. Support Marlon because he gets you jived up and he knows how to make you run through a freaking brick wall and get your shit together. But support each other in the chat too. That's actually, in my opinion, probably even more important, is what you guys don't realize is in this chat right now is your next business partner, your next deal, your next podcast partner, your next growth house partner, roommate. Maybe if it's like me and Marlon, maybe you'll even share a stage together. And that's a pretty impressive thing. So, brother, dude, it's an honor to be here with you, man. Thank you.
Bro, it's an honor to be here with y'all. I appreciate you all. And Alejandro, bro, like, could you come to the house, bro, and like just set up the podcast studio for us? Like, can you just make us, like, we just want to look like you, bro. Like, can you hook us up like that, bro? I'll pay for your ticket. I'll fly you out.
Let's do it, bro. I got you, bro. I'm down. That'll be super fun.
That's fire. So I think we did it. We got a deal today. We locked up a deal. Yo, let's go. So what do we got next week? What do we anticipate for folks to come back to next week?
I think we still have some more of the personality type. Those are fun.
Oh yeah. We only did 2 of the 4 personality types so far. You're right.
Yep.
All right. So guys, you already know what time it is. Make sure you are back here next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Arizona time. Tell your friends, tell your mom, go and get everybody, go wake the neighborhood up. If you live in an apartment complex, go bang on their doors and let them know what time it is. Because next week, we are going to be breaking down 2 more of the seller archetypes, of the sort of personality types of the seller. So I'm excited for that one. If you're getting value, do me a favor. Make sure that you're paying your admission to be here. What is your admission, you might be asking? Admission is very simple. On the bottom of your screen, there's a like button. Somewhere on that screen, there's a subscribe button. And somewhere you're able to leave a comment. Go ahead and leave that comment right now. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And if you're only on my page, if you're watching from Marlon Johnson's YouTube, do me a favor. Go over to Sam Singh's YouTube. go over to Daryl Ellison's YouTube, go to Alejandro's YouTube. The links should all be in the description. So you should be able to connect to everyone else's YouTube. And that's how you can show support. If this is valuable to you, that's how we're going to know value is being transferred and that you guys are actually getting something out of this and we're not just on here talking to ourselves. We'll know by seeing that subscribe button get hit and turn on the notification. So next week, Tuesday, you do not miss another episode. So that's my final words. Brothers, Sam, Alejandro, Daryl, do you guys have anything you want to say?
Yep. I have I like to give a special gift for the next few people that subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take a screenshot of this YouTube live right now and tag us on Instagram. I will give you 2 free 30 minutes time with me. You can ask me any questions about real estate. You do have to send me the DM of the proof that you subscribed, you liked, and you also tagged us. And I will personally reach out to you and I will spend 2 free 30 minutes with you on answering any questions about real estate. So please, and that's of course if you gain any value. If you didn't gain any value, don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I'm logging into my backup account right now.
Bro, I'm subscribing.
Yo, that's dope. That's super dope. I suggest everybody do that. I would want to be the first person to do that and DM Alejandro because that's what you call value. This guy show you how to close deals, will show you how to freaking salsa dance, so show you how to do it all. I'm telling you. I promise you. Make sure you reach out to this guy Alejandro. Subscribe to his channel. I have an announcement as well. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I don't have the times yet, but I will have them tonight, and I'll announce them tonight. But we're doing a role play competition inside the Discord. So if you not have already joined the Discord, join the Discord like right now. My brother's on the screen. They may or may not be surprise guest judges to come give y'all feedback on y'all role play competition, on your closer skills. It's a great opportunity to come in here and just get better over the weekend. We may have some prizes for the winners. So yeah, join the Discord and stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Heck yeah, that's dope, bro. Excited to see that.
Let's go.
All right, guys. I think that's it for this week. Really want to, real quick want to say, because Troy says, Sam, you're going to love this deal, 60% cash on cash. Troy, shoot me a DM, text me, we'll talk. But guys, absolutely, it's been an absolute honor. Man, that role play this weekend, I mean, I think it's going to be low-key filthy, bro. I may or may not be there, to judge and to absolutely light the chat on fire. But I'm just saying, guys, that's it for the Think Big podcast this week. We will see you next time.